Why do millennials look like this? They'll typically have facial hair, a big grin on their face, with a t-shirt that's either ironic or has some joke on it. In fact, this look, for lack of a better term, is almost universal across millennial men. But why is that? Why is this look so popular? I think it comes down to one main concept, which is insincerity. Millennials, for whatever reason, seem to be allergic to the idea of sincerity. You can see this in movies and games where the characters that they write all have like these kind of snarky quips where they're not really taking things seriously and everything has to have like a little one-liner or a zinger at the end.
She's in your heart. She's with us wherever we go.
I'm sorry, but that's seriously? In your heart?
That's the most cornball thing I've ever heard you say, Pax.
Wherever we go. Really? Really? That's what...
A lot of the slop that comes out of Hollywood, AAA gaming studios and so on has this theme of insincerity. Like, they can't help but write characters to be insincere. But it goes beyond that. I think it even extends into how millennials represent themselves. Now, to be fair, Gen Z, there's plenty of things to complain about with them, but I think with millennials, their insincerity is quite unique. Because if you see boomers, like the way boomers present themselves, they kind of play it straight. You know those ridiculous boomer t-shirts you see, where it's like some skeleton or Grim Reaper holding a shotgun? Like, they sincerely believe this is cool. Like, they're not faking it. And then you have Gen Z, the broccoli haircut, which is what they're most known for. They're playing that straight too, like they sincerely think that is cool. But it's with millennials that they don't really commit to anything. And to give an example, facial hair. Millennial men often have facial hair. It's kind of weird to see a millennial man that is clean shaven. But the thing is, it's not because they love the idea of a beard that they think it's so cool to have like this masculine feature to your face. In fact, if you say something like men should look more masculine, they would like bristle at it. They don't genuinely appreciate the look of a beard that some men obviously do. They kind of grow their beard ironically. They don't put their heart into their facial hair, is what I'm saying. And then you have their clothes. Like, they love the idea of a ironic t-shirt. Like the boomer t-shirts, they might wear one, but ironically, like to poke fun of it. Like they want to be like a walking joke like that. Or they'll just straight up have some printed tee that has some silly joke or innuendo or something on it. But they won't purposefully try to present themselves in a way that they think is cool. The only reason why I can think that they would do this is because they're definitely afraid of being made fun of. It's like they are like hyper social and like they're definitely afraid of someone making fun of them for whatever reason. They really don't want to commit to something to the point where someone could say that they're cringe. They kind of want to always be half in, half out. A good example is like the mullet haircut. You know, there's plenty of like YouTubers, like particularly kind of lefty YouTubers that have this kind of like mullet hairstyle with like the mustache. It's not because they love the idea of being some 80s working class guy. Like, that's not what they really appreciate. They kind of have that haircut ironically. Like, the ironic thing is, like, in the 80s, if you had like a mullet, you were kind of like an edgy dude. Like, you had some edge to you. If you're in the 80s and you see some white dude with a mullet, you know that there's a bit of substance to this guy. He's probably in a trade. He's going to be making politically incorrect jokes. You know, these are the guys that wouldn't be able to get a corporate job. And now you see a guy with a mullet walking around today, all of their talking points are going to overlap with what a corporate HR department would say. Like, they're not going to say anything that's going to blow your mind. They're some of the least edgiest people on earth. If you go up to some millennial guy with a mullet and a mustache and one of these ironic t-shirts and ask, what is your most controversial take? What's an opinion you hold that is the most outspoken? I guarantee you what they are going to say is something that you would hear from any Fortune 500 HR department. It's going to be so humdrum. So they're not really a rebel, are they? They're not really this rebellious character. Again, it's being insincere. And all of this, I think, is to convey this idea of being non-threatening. It's kind of like the opposite of thug maxing, where guys will go out of their way to look tough or dangerous. A lot of millennial men take the opposite strategy and try to look as non-threatening as possible. And despite this effort to look non-threatening, I guarantee you these guys aren't going to be honorable dudes that will stick up for you. If you ever get cancelled or, you know, you're under some heat, these guys will be the first to throw you under the bus. They'll just run away from you like rats scurrying a sinking ship. You know, you can never really imagine any of these people having some great loyalty to someone. Again, this goes back to this concept of insincerity. They're not really non-threatening. In fact, a lot of millennials will stab each other in the back if it means that it will abscond them from taking some heat. They're very much untrustworthy despite their appearances. And of course, like, this is not all millennial guys, like, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of millennials that will like hear this and be like, yeah, I totally get what you're saying, what I'm saying doesn't apply to them. But there's enough of these types of people that if you've been in the workforce, seen something from Hollywood, or played a AAA game recently, you'll see how these people think, and they are allergic to sincerity. Speaking of facial hair, why do some men look so much better with a beard than others? I made a video about it that you can check out on screen here.